I'm in full Basketcase mode right now. That's what's happening.
She told me to warn all of you that this isn't her normal attire.
Well, within reason.
We are so excited that you're here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for being a part of Westworld, because it's all of our new obsession. Correct, everybody?
Yeah.
Such a great show.
It's literally an honor and a privilege to be a part of that show. It's just extraordinary.
So you mentioned backstage that it was a little over a year ago, right, when you began filming for Westworld?
Yeah, we did the pilot in 2014, actually, and then started filming it last year around July. So yeah, it's been a long time coming. The anticipation has been killing me, and I thought when the show aired, it would relieve some of that. But now the anticipation of wanting everyone to know the secrets so I can stop having to bear them by myself is what I'm also looking forward to.
I wish you could tell us all the secrets here. We're in a contained room. We're not streaming out.
You gotta suffer like I did. I had to find out episode by episode, and I didn't get to know my character arc. I didn't get to know anything that was gonna happen on the show. No one did. So I can tell you that the surprises will floor you.
So let's talk about Dolores and your character. How did you kind of prepare to play a robot, and what kind of research did you do, if any? Because you're not given too much source material here. You kind of have to create her in your own mind.
Yeah, that was part of the fun of being involved with something from the start. Is you get to be a part of creating the tone and the world. And I worked with Jonah Nolan, one of the creators, and a lot on what would analysis mode be? How would the shifts, the tiny little shifts that the robots do, what was that going to look like? How far do we go? And we just realized that the more subtle and the more slight they were, then the more unsettling they were. We're not up there popping and locking. We're very indistinguishable from humans until those moments happen and take you out of it, and you realize, oh my God, right, this is not a real character or a person. This is a computer. But I did read Ray Kurzweil and study the singularity and devoured TED Talks and talked to futurists and scientists, and because I just really wanted to understand the inner workings of my build, I guess, because you're obviously not asking yourself the same questions that you normally would as an actor. So it was really interesting, but really fun. And Tandy Noon actually put it beautifully, where it really gives you permission to be exquisite and a very majestic, powerful creature. We all feel very strong and superhuman when we're doing it. It's it gives you permission to do that. It's fun.
Yeah, and it has to be weird, though, because you're on set and you're acting, but you're acting with people who are playing humans as well as robots.
Right.
But you have to remember that you're a robot, and robots don't necessarily do what humans do. So how did you kind of get into that mindset? Are there certain things that, if you, squint your eyes, per se, or...
Yeah, well, we would have questions that we ended up nicknaming bot thoughts, because we would have to ask really weird questions as actors. So am I squinting in the sun? I've got a bot thought. So when I'm in this, do I have my accent, or is that gone in analysis mode? Where do I look? How frozen am I? Do I hear, because the hosts are also programmed to not be able to hear or see certain things. So sometimes a scene's going on in front of you and you have to pretend like it's not happening, or, just weird stuff like that. And it was hard to keep track of at times, but I don't know, I think it just makes for a really interesting show, trying to figure it all out.
And apparently Dolores is based, the creator said, on Alice in Wonderland and a famous painting, I think by Andrew Wyeth.
Uh-huh.
Did you look at both of those and maybe see how you could bring them to life, or to AI life?
People have kind of nicknamed me Alice my whole life and always compared me to her and my curiosity and, sort of falling down rabbit holes and getting myself in trouble, but managing to come out the other side. So I guess life prepared me for that. And but nothing could really prepare me for this role. Honestly, it was the most challenging, physically, emotionally. There were times on set where I genuinely did question my reality and thought, "Wait, am I a robot?" And this is just their like weird, elaborate way of telling me. Because like the show got so meta, I really started freaking out. It's true. I wish I was lying. But you know, it's all part of the fun. And knowing how much playing this role affected me and how powerful it was, and after experiencing her arc. I was a different person after the season. I ran up to Lisa Joy, the other showrunner, when it wrapped and just hugged her and wept and was like, "Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to play this incredible, complex woman." Those roles are few and far between, and it just changed my life. It really did.
We were talking about that too backstage, how this show is, it features so many powerful female characters. You have Thandie Newton and your character of Dolores, and how the men robots don't really get it, but the women are really discovering fast that something's going on here. This is not right.
Yeah, we're kind of going against stereotypes and gender norms in it a lot. And I think as the show progresses, you realize that, these creations aren't necessarily male or female. They kind of transcend that. They're evolved past that. They're very advanced, highly intelligent beings. And so I think we're really going to be taking down gender roles, and it's a weirdly feminist show, actually, despite some of the flack we may have gotten early on. It's all there for a reason and all a part of a story that is leading up to something much bigger. So I think people will be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So for those who are not just tuning in and have never watched Westworld, that's a shame, really.
Yeah,
but do you
where
want to
have
give
you been?
do you want to give a little background right now on where your character is at in this crazy story arc?
Yeah, sure. Well, the show starts in this futuristic theme park that's as big as a continent, really. It's an entire world. And you pay a lot of money to go in the original film, there were different worlds, but right now we're just focused on Westworld. And it's a recreation of the Old West, and it's filled with robots or hosts that don't know that they're robots. They really think they're living in the Wild West, and their lives are very much like Groundhog Day. They go through all kinds of abuse, and they're really enslaved to this world and to their loops that they're kind of kept on. They're kept in zones and paths, and every day their memory's wiped. They don't remember. They're put back into the same place, brand new, to do it all over again. And it starts with an update that has basically given them access to memories that have been erased. So it's given them permission to dream. And so, of course, they're starting to remember their past and their lives. And my character is the oldest host in the park. So she's been around for 30 years. And so she's suddenly being able to access 30 years of, just unthinkable things. And getting in touch with who she really is. And we're starting to see her break her kind of core code and go off of her loop and override her programming. Certain people aren't allowed to pull triggers on the guns, and not for a spoiler, but we're on episode 4 now. Like she's starting to be able to hold weapons and shoot guns, and that's absolutely not in her programming. So it's all foreshadowing, for something dark and sinister, I'm sure.
Usually her day would be, waking up, going into town, and then usually something grisly would happen to her family.
She's the damsel in distress. So if you went to visit Westworld, it's very much like a game, and there's different levels. And Dolores would be more like a level 7. She's not, one of the girls in the brothel who's, for lack of a better word, quite easy, and I mean that on a skill level, not in a derogatory way. And then there's Dolores, and she's a little tougher. She's there's something about her. There's an edge to her. She's the quintessential farm girl next door, just sweet, innocent, virginal. But there is something about her that most guests that come in contact with her notice, and she thinks a little differently, and she's slightly more advanced. But of course, you know, the sinister guests that come to the park, because you can be whoever you want, create your own identity, you can be the hero, you can save Dolores from the train tracks, you can ride in on your white horse and you can fall in love with her and make her fall in love with you, or, you know, people go there because they want to torture that girl, they want to destroy that innocence. So it's both sides of the coin, and it's really showing both sides of our humanity in that way, and I think a real commentary on some of the things that we find entertaining and what's become the social norm, and looking at that through the lens of something other than ourselves, like an outsider's perspective, like a host, like a robot that's been designed to be like us, but if they evolved past us and they could see us objectively, would they want to continue to be like us? Or, you know, or would they be hostile, or would they, you know, we don't know. And I think that's kind of where the show is starting. Yeah, it's a little scary.
It's a little scary.
It's a little scary because it's a little inevitable. I mean, a lot of the technologies used in the show are being worked on right now, and we really aren't that far away. But we don't know. You know, could be also, you know, a cautionary tale, and you know, an embellished version of what might happen, or it could not be. Time will tell.
And Dolores is sort of off her track right now. She's with Jimmy Simpson's character, William, and they're kind of on this bounty hunt.
Yes.
How long do you think Dolores can go without kind of being brought back to her original storyline?
I think that's exactly what Jimmy's character, William, is trying to find out. And I think Dolores somehow has become aware that she is going farther than, even if she doesn't have the word for it, she's sensing that something is driving her to keep going. And she's also been hearing a voice speaking to her that's been sort of guiding her and telling her where to go and what to do, and she's following that. So it's kind of a mystery right now what is going on with her. She's definitely not where she's supposed to be. William's very taken with her, but one of my favorite episodes is coming up, episode 5, and we go to a little place called Pariah. And it's on the outs. We're getting out of Sweetwater, the main town, and we're going deeper into the park on the outskirts. And we've established that the farther out you go, the more intense the game gets. And man, were they not kidding! Because when we started getting the scripts after episode 5, it was just, whoa, okay. Not only are they dropping bombs left and right, but you know, some of the days on set, I would be like, look, I've seen some stuff, and this is wild. I gotta go in the corner and listen to my headphones and try to tune this out, because you gotta keep your cool on that set. And Jimmy Simpson and I actually invented a tactic where whenever we needed to geek out or be a little unprofessional, we would be like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, look at the set, all right, you look professional. You wanna step out of the room for a second? And we would mime stepping out of a room, and then we'd go, oh my God, what, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you read this? Okay, back in the room. No, we're good. So there were a lot of those moments. And it will only continue to get more and more intense and more relentless. And you know, we've set everything up very beautifully, and now the payoffs are really gonna start hitting you one by one, yeah.
Kind of like Lost right now, because it's brought so many people on message boards and Reddits, and people are theorizing about everything. Like 4 episodes in, this is insane. From episode 1, people were like, "We need to talk about the show."
It's pretty amazing. I didn't expect that, and we love all the theories, because when we were shooting it, that's all we could do after work is just sit and try to figure the show out and figure out where it was going. And I had about 100 theories, and only 3 of them were right.
I'm gonna say, we gotta ask her some theories. She can't answer them, but
no, I can't. Again, I've had to really work on my poker face.
Does Dolores know where the maze is?
I don't know. You're gonna have to suffer like I did. I mean,
is Bernard a robot?
I don't know. You're gonna have to suffer like I did.
Damn.
There's
Who's Arnold?
There's a lot of good theories out there.
I knew she wouldn't answer the theories, but you know, I do want to talk, of course, too, about Rebel in a Basketcase, because you guys are about to perform. But also, Westworld has incredible music. It's a really interesting soundtrack.
Yeah, that's the beauty about getting to do a period piece set in the future. Yeah. There's Radiohead on the pianos, and yeah, it's really fun.
So tell me a little bit about your musical influences and how this duo sort of came about.
Well, music's my first love. I started singing at the same time I started acting. I started in musical theater, and singing more so than acting just was so, I don't know. I mean, all I do is listen to music, and I love it so much, and it's carried me through my entire life. And I became really obsessed with Bowie at a very young age. I have a Aladdin Sane lightning bolt tattooed on my thigh, which after he died, I filled in black. But I just was singing before I could talk. It's the love of my life. But I was always, because of that, too chicken to make it. Because I was like, well, if I'm not Radiohead, I'm not doing it. Like, if it's not perfect, then like, mm-mm. And then I did this John Hughes cabaret with my bandmate, Zach Villa, and we reenacted scenes from John Hughes movies, like from Some Kind of Wonderful and Pretty in Pink and The Breakfast Club. And our character names were Rebel and Basketcase. And our chemistry was so amazing, and we loved working together. And we also did not want to stop being in a John Hughes movie because it's really fun. So we just started this side project, and we realized we had a very similar taste and an affinity for androgyny and glam rock, and started writing the album. And then Bowie died, and then we really put our foot on the gas and just wanted to kind of keep that dream alive and pay homage to him. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
And wait until you see Zach too. He looks freaking awesome. Your outfits are.
He's pretty okay looking.
It's
yeah.
awesome. Did you always know that this is the kind of vibe you wanted, like a pop music duo?
No, I mean, I didn't know. I sing many different styles. So this actually, no, it was kind of a surprise. But it does fit so well, and it's a nice change from doing really dramatic roles, because a lot of what we sing about is very empowering. It's just about overcoming oppressive situations and being yourself, and we call our fans unicorns because we were always the black sheep, and we kind of want to take away the stigma of that and say you're not a black sheep, you're a unicorn, you're a mystical, rare creature, and it should be embraced. And so that's really kind of what it's about. And so this, I feel like, is just a heightened version of who I am, but kind of the most vulnerable and raw version too. So.
And I'm sure it's nice to kind of step away from Dolores and be able to just rock out with your bandmate.
It's really fun. It is. Although I do miss Dolores. I'm counting down the days to season 2. I'm addicted to the show just like everyone else, and I'm addicted to being consumed in that world, and it's just so immersive, and acting in it is such a trip, because half the time you don't know what you're doing or why you're doing it. Like, I've had some direction that was like, okay, so just run that way. We can't really tell you what's going on. You're running away from something, like to be reunited with something, and you're just like, I will do my best version of whatever that is. And you kind of go for it. But the writers and the directors are so, we have some of the most talented people on and off screen working on the show. And so I was never scared. It was really just kind of like playing Marco Polo and following their voice. And then towards the end of the season, it all made sense as to why we worked that way. So
yeah, are you gonna write is there any musical influences from Westworld that we can find
on album 2? Maybe I did start writing in my trailer a lot, and I would play it for people, and they're just like, man, you're in a place on that show right now, aren't you? This music's a little it's kind of dark, dude. I'm just like, yeah, no, we've been doing some crazy stuff. So yeah, we'll see what the tone is.
Well, I want to get to some audience questions before the big performance, so let's.
Yes, how do you do? My name is Majik. My question to you is regarding the styles of music that you're singing. Are there any styles that you have not performed yet that you'd be interested in doing?
Styles that I have not performed yet. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm such a sucker for kind of the older lounge singers like Billie Holiday and Peggy Lee and Patti Page, and I can croon as well, but I can also scream a lot. I can sing Janice, and would love to kind of do that one day. So probably that. I don't know. I feel like I maybe in a past life was had gardenias in my hair and a long gown and was crooning for people at some point, because that's very much in my blood, and something about that music just is like just getting a hug. But so probably that.
Who's next? You have one more, yeah.
Hey Rachel, my name is Annie, and
Hi.
you said the show changed you and that you've been questioning the reality of nature. So I want to know, how do you see the world now, and how do you understand reality? Do you believe that everything on Earth are maybe products made by higher civilizations? Or?
Oh man, this is a
deep.
awesome question. Well done.
I am a robot.
I actually
everybody.
just kind of got into this conversation with somebody the other day of, comparing our reality to Westworld and what is reality. And we all really are living in a false reality right now. We've just all agreed that this is reality, but not necessarily is that true. So the way I view it is reality is whatever you make it, and your thoughts are very powerful. And once you take the red pill and you realize that most things are learned and not necessarily true, you can kind of make it up as you go along, and there's a real freedom to that. It's also terrifying because you're kind of free-falling, and a lot of people need to cling to something that is true, and people want an answer. But I think there's a real beauty in not having the answers. As far as, what is it, other civilizations kind of, that's an awesome theory. I'm kind of a firm believer, and it would be an awful waste of space. And I have been known to watch Ancient Aliens on occasion. So, I'm kind of agnostic in that way of like, I'm not going to say either way because I don't know, but I'm certainly open to the possibility. And that's kind of how I float through life. But
Well, before we wrap up, I want to know what you can tell us that we could expect from the next, I think it's only 6 episodes left. That's it, 6 episodes until season 1's over. Is shit going to really go down?
Man. I don't even know if I can prepare anybody. Well, yeah, definitely tune in next week. The show's going to go to a whole nother level. And certainly prepare for 9 and 10. To have your heart broken and your mind blown, and that's really all I can say. I'm just over the moon about it. Yeah.
I'm going to give Anthony Hopkins a call and see if he can give me some spoilers, guys. So
No, you know what? Most of the time, Anthony goes, "Do you know what's going on in this scene?" And I'm just like, I don't know. I think I do. I have no idea what's happening. No idea what this is about.
plays it off well, though.
Yeah. We're all still piecing it together. I still watch the episodes and find new things that I didn't pick up on before. I'm just like, oh, that's what that is. And so you should just keep a diary.
I really looked this way and I was like, who's here?
Yeah.
Who's here from Westworld? Anthony Hopkins is here. Well, thank you so much for being here. And everybody stick around because Evan's going to come out with Zach and they're going to perform for you all. So thank you so much. We're so pumped.